Oh, hi! This week, it's hot and I keep not doing the thing because everything's sticky and I don't even want myself to be touching myself, let alone anything in my sewing room. But I need to do a thing. So the lights are off. I'm gonna grab a fan and point it at me while I work on this goddamn project. And I know it's gonna be super quick and easy once I get into it because I want to make some underwear. It's the smallest, least involved thing I could probably make myself. And yet I've never done it and I have been putting it off for hours today. I've been sitting here in front of my sewing machine. All of my supplies have been taken out. I have a pair to copy, and yet I have done no actual work towards it. So I thought if I just grab the camera and start, it'd kick my brain into gear to get this freaking thing done. So let's make some stuff, shall we? Oh, I hate summer so much. All right, I set up a fan so that I don't die in here, and I got myself a cookie. Treats are the only way I'm gonna get myself through this. It's gonna be fine. It's not gonna take long, but boy, have I turned this into an all-day affair. Okay, so listen, if you're worried about people talking about their underwear or seeing underwear, then I suggest you move along, since obviously there's going to be a lot of visual aspects to the rest of the video. And if you're going to be a creep or it's going to make you uncomfortable, I don't know what else to tell you. Also, I'm just copying a pair I have, which is the style I wear a lot. So I do have a couple different types in my dresser drawer. So it's just a matter of copying whatever thing that you enjoy. I don't think it's going to make a difference because whatever size pieces you're tracing are the size pieces you're going to need. Okay, it's the next day. It's still so fucking hot. So let's go through the process, shall we? I have made the underwear. There were some struggles, but we fucking got through it. Here's how it went down. I went to trace the already existing pair of underwear that I had, which, you know, is shitty, cheap, Victoria's Secret underwear. It shouldn't have been made the way it was. It had no structural integrity, but my fault for buying it in the first place, I guess. And here's the thing, right? I have been on a no-buy year for over a year and a half now. There are some caveats to this, and I'll give an update at the end of this year once I can, like, fully assess how I did on this. But even at the end of last year, my trouble spots were leggings, underwear, socks. And out of that category, well, not bras, but underwear bottoms seemed the easiest thing to tackle. And you know, there were some headaches with this one, but got through it in the end. I knew I just wanted elastic at the side bits where I know obviously a pair of underwear with more coverage, you're gonna need fabric to cover at the sides there, unless you want it to just be a string bit. It's all preference here, right? Also, talking through even sharing this project, because like, I don't know, some people can get weird about stuff and I'd rather that not happen. So I was hesitant to even film this, but also hopefully helpful because like this is something I haven't tackled, but I realized part of my issue with wearing more butt coverage type underwear is I have some sensory issue stuff, which is, you know, part of ADHD diagnosis. I'm learning so much about why I am the way I am. Uh-oh, he sensed I was getting embarrassed, so he came to comfort me. Good boy. When I wear more full coverage underwear, I can't even think of like the terms for them. I don't know. Anyway, when there is an elasticated leg hole that doesn't actually stay covering my whole butt and then it is like rolling up onto the cheekage, it's all I can think about when it happens. It's not about like visible lines or anything. It is like a discomfort and stressor for me. So huge reason why this is just my preferred style. And talking about it now makes it feel less embarrassing because it's just, it doesn't matter. It doesn't affect anybody else. I've been made fun of for wearing this type of underwear before, but like whatever works for you, it's fine. As long as they're clean, doesn't matter. Okay, I feel like I have gone so far off the rails. So I traced a pattern off of the original underwear. I had the back underwear piece, it's all folded in half just so everything's nice and even. And then I have the front underwear piece and there's a line here for the gusset. So that's a separate piece I'm cutting. And I guess I could make a separate pattern piece for that as well. That's gonna go from here to here. So it's gonna like be a duplicate of this portion of the big pattern piece. Once I refinagled the fabric after I tried to cut it out without seam allowance, which realized wasn't gonna work, I did it again and added seam allowance along the curve, but not the flat bit. If you're adding any hemming or anything at the top and using a different type of elastic where you have to fold the edge over of the fabric, you should add seam allowance up here. Because I'm using fold over elastic, I'm not losing any of the length on the top portion of the underwear. And same for the back top bit. That also isn't getting any. So the leg holes, this curved bit, both pieces get seam allowance each side, and then where this split is, right, where the back piece is going to attach to this, and also this edge of the gusset, all three of those spots need the seam allowance added because we're going to attach it together. But I'm just serging the top of the gusset, so that doesn't need extra seam allowance. But if you want to hem it, account for that when you're making your pattern. Then the first thing I did was serge the top edge of the gusset. It was tricky feeding a single layer of double knit jersey through the serger. I think I lost a little bit of length there because I had to run it through so many times without it fucking up. And same when I went to attach all the pieces together, which I did the gusset right sides together with the front piece here, and then sandwiched the back piece in between those two right sides facing together with the front bit. This is the part I had a hard time wrapping my head around because I knew that there were finished edges and like the gusset was getting flipped over a certain way, but that's the part I had to do with my hands to figure out how it was going to work. And I kept looking at the original pair of underwear to like try to walk my brain through it. This is why I say I'm a hands-on learner. Like I can't always visualize that stuff. And even in written steps, could you imagine if that was just written steps? I wouldn't be able to do it. So having to like actually noodle around with my own hands and figured it out, finally got there. Oh, and when I was attaching that seam with all three pieces together, I kept getting it caught like underneath the plate on my machine. It kept like trying to eat it and suck it down into the bobbin casing. So finally I grabbed some tissue paper, and I can't remember if I've done this or not. I've known about it for years and like have often just avoided doing it. Groundbreaking. It made it so easy. I cannot believe how smoothly it made things go through. And I even have a walking foot, which is supposed to help with this exact problem. And yet, anyway, finally got that done. So once that was all flipped the way it needed to go, I had the gusset laying flat on the inside, no raw edges poking out on the rest of that seam. Just looks so good. I laid the gusset down and then I serged along each of the leg holes. Then I folded each of those over and I did zigzag stitches for anything I was doing on the regular sewing machine, and obviously the serger, that helps give some stretch. This is where if you have fully extended sides to like wrap around your hips of the regular fabric, you would attach them at the side seams. I am just using the fold over elastic as the little like straps along the side. I fucked this up too though, even though I've used fold over elastic a bunch of times, and I started using it like bias tape where I sewed it right sides together to the back and front, realized it wasn't gonna work. Again, melty brain. So then was like, right, I just need to fold it over the fabric as indicated by the title of it being fold over elastic. And then that was it. It took no time. Why have I put this off for so long? Just because I'm afraid of failure and it's something new that I haven't tried yet. So of course I'm not gonna think that I'm gonna do well at it. There were some struggles because I forgot how tricky it can be feeding thin material in small tiny pieces where there's no purchase to get on either end of it through a machine. Now it's gonna be that much easier and quicker to do the next pair because I like got my battle plan ready, you know? So even though it took me a little while to get this particular one figured out, now I would imagine it'd take me like 15 minutes to make another pair from cutting out the fabric to finishing it. And that feels empowering as shit because underwear is one of those things I never thought I'd be able to make myself. And I know this is not a particularly complex or riveting garment. Like there's literally nothing to this, but it just seemed like an unmakeable thing, and it's not anymore. That's one less trouble area in my no-buy purchases. Yes, I am implying that I would like to tackle making leggings. Maybe not socks, because that's a knitting situation. I don't know how to go about sewing socks together without having a seam on the heel, and I would not be able to handle a seam on the heel. But I'm also gifted socks more than any other item. That's like my favorite thing to receive for presents. I fucking love fun socks. And most of my socks are actually just by happenstance. Like it wasn't intentional to start with, but now I make a point to ask for Blue Q brand socks because they are a sustainable company and they just write really funny shit on their socks, like wildly inappropriate things. I feel very sneaky when I have like little cute designs with swear words on them when I'm going to the gym and stuff. But also if someone's getting close enough to me to read my socks out in public like that, they need to fuck right the fuck off. And that's kind of what the socks tend to tell them to do. I'm not worried about running out of socks anytime soon. It's something I have always had like an overabundance of, so it's not a trouble area. For transparency, I did buy myself 2 new bras at a Target as well as a bathing suit because I was having just a bad time and getting stressed out about the fact that I didn't have a bathing suit. It's hot as shit, and that's the one reprieve is like going in some water. And I felt like there was stuff I wasn't able to wear because I didn't have the right style bra. So like the thing I'm currently wearing and the boost in my confidence. And I hate that there's like a retail therapy aspect because there definitely is. And you know, the worms of capitalism have eaten my brain type of thing. I don't like that I enjoyed buying myself a couple of things, and I very much want to make myself my own bras. I just don't have it in me to do right now, and I have gone without new ones for like multiple years beyond the no-buy year I've been on. But steering myself away from being dependent on some of that stuff, there is power and joy in that. That's the goal of the no-buy time. I still had to like talk myself into letting myself buy bras without feeling guilty about it. This is kind of the compromise. As long as I make myself new pairs of like bottom underwear, pants as some may call it, then I could like justify buying 2 new bras and a bathing suit. I just can't let myself have nice things without some type of caveat, huh? Anyway, I don't know if this is helpful. If this was just annoying because I was complaining about a bunch of stuff the whole time. I am in a chaotic while also being sluggish mindset, and I hate being like this. So hopefully this type of heat wave will pass soon and I can move on. Thank you all for putting up with me. And also, as always, I got to take the time to make myself new underwear because of everyone over on my Patreon. Thank you all for caring so hard about what I do and helping me get better at sewing, even just by allowing me to dedicate time and resources to this. I hope you are all staying cool if you are in one of the areas affected by the egregious heat waves happening, and I will see you next Friday with another video. Thank you so much for hanging out. Into the thick of it. Ugh.